Alright. No, I shouldn't do the whole thing. That's like a waste of time. Because like if people want to see the ultimate flight plan, they'll see that in one of my runs. So doing the whole thing, save doing the whole thing for the end when like it makes sense. Okay. So let's try take 2 of this tutorial. Tutorial on wing boot extensions. This one's about ultimate flight plan. Recording this one before the easier one in 4PAW. So ultimate flight plan is what I call this section of flying, where you have to get through about 98 ticks of your wing boot timer. Like, you normally get 40, but you need 98 total seconds of wing boot time. So this means you need about a 70% success rate on all these pauses in order for this to work. In addition, look at my money here. Well, actually, I think my money is just wrong for... this is from pendants, pendant farming. But there's basically no time to stop for money, so you basically need all 4,500 gold going into this. So that means this works way better for 1-king routes, because you'll be doing the 4PAW grind to give you experience, and that will make you respawn as an aspirant after activating the 2nd spring, which gives you an extra 500 gold. So this is a really advanced thing. This is probably the last thing you should work on in a Faxanadu run. However, the second half of this has some relevant stuff. Like any pauses you learn from Victim up to the Black Onyx, say you want to incorporate that into your run, well, that's evergreen. You can slot that knowledge into Ultimate Flight Plan, like you'll already know how to do the second half. And the reason I say that, you know, when people first hear, oh, well, your wing boot timer subtracts every 64 frames, right? So you can see the... I have Memory Watch on the stream overlay right now. That's address 01A. And you can see every time it hits modulo 64, like 0, 63, 127, or 255. Or I guess, well, never mind. Either 0 or 255, but you get what I mean, right? You can set a timer for 225 beats per minute. And let's see how good I can get it, like, just with no frame of reference. See, I'm not even that good at it. Whereas, watch what happens when I hit a screen transition. The timer gets set to 0. Same with the left-right screen transition. Timer will get set to 0. Oop, don't have background input on. Or set to 0. Oh, set to 0. So I believe it takes 96 frames to load a left-right screen transition and about 40 for a vertical screen transition. Oh, gotta reload that state. However, the timer keeps going if you go into a door. So I'm just gonna go into this people's house. So notice how, oh, timer kept going into the hundreds. If I keep going in here, you might see my timer come back to life and lose a second. There! You saw it for a bit. Saw it hit 30, now it says 29. So, yeah, when I get to town, things get a little weird. That's why I don't have any visual cues, any images. Right. So, the other reason why I've held off on making a tutorial on wing boot pausing is because it's pretty much impossible to explain, because if I stop to talk about anything, look, the global timer is still going. So as soon as I stop moving, like the screen is forfeit, right? I have to talk about each screen one at a time. This also means that because when you do a screen transition and the timer goes back to 0, you can't just set a metronome for 225 BPM, so that's unfortunate. But it's actually better, because it means you get visual cues for where to pause on every single screen. So, I've prepared a couple images here. So I'll just do the first screen and then bring up the cues to talk about it. So first off, to start off Ultimate Flight Plan, I start on the very right edge of the screen here, because I want to jump straight up and then leave the screen before it hits 39, ideally. Alright, so that was the first screen. Let's pause and leave the music up for a bit. And here's the guide image that shows what I did. So I tend to use enemies as visual cues. I have a superstition that enemy AI, or the rhythms of certain enemies, is also every 64 frames. I don't know, I feel like the enemies can help me time things, can help me time the pauses. I mean, I'm not like super quick like you know, press start and then have unpaused 3 frames later, like the task. Like, obviously I'm human, I can't like double tap the controller that fast. So there's always a little bit of real time that you lose because you're not moving your Faxanadu. The game is frozen, but it's worth it because you need to make these wing boots last. It allows you to really change the route of the game and save a lot more time in the long run. So anyway, what I do is I really should have drawn a square, because I go by when this Metroid drifts into this square. Like, you know, here's a square, this tile, and here's a square on this tile. So I want another square right there. So so I pause when this Metroid drifts from there into there. And generally, the green line is the route the Faxanadu takes, and I usually put a circle for where your feet are going to be when you want to press pause. So, also an important thing, if you don't do a ladder rejump, look at the timer. Oh wait, I gotta take away the guide image here first. Okay. Look at that. You barely lose a wing boot second before you can leave the screen. So instead of like the super difficult, oh, I'm going to lose even more frames by pausing the game, I just do a ladder rejump. It gets me out of the screen faster. The nice thing is that even though you're still on a ladder, you could ladder rejump into this screen too, but it's a bad idea. Well, I messed it up anyway. See, here's the thing. Remember how the vertical screen transitions are way faster? They're like 40 frames or something, so that means frame 64 is coming up like a third of a second later. So you got to be ready to pause as soon as you get into the next screen. And it's really annoying to think about. Just look at my input display in the bottom left for a second. In order to ladder rejump, you have to be holding A, press up to start wing boot flying, then let go of up to stop wing boot flying. Because you're holding A, the game will put you in a standing state on the ladder. So you have to let go of A and then press A again to jump it. So it's a lot of like holding A as much as you can, then you give up a little light double tap. Actually, I have a good save state to demonstrate ladder rejumps real quick. So that's ladder rejumping. So again, I gotta press a lot of A, barely press up. So, but you don't want to ladder rejump into here, into the next screen, because if you do, you know, you get hit by that guy. You have to pay attention to the timer while doing that. Like, I don't want to weave, like, look at that. This is very fancy, like, you know, up, A, hold A, up, and then I have to weave, like, 2 really quick start presses asynchronously into there. No, no thanks. I might be insane, but not that insane. Okay, so the next screen. Dropped 1. Okay, I dropped 2. Let me try it again. Okay, I barely dropped that one. I was a little bit late. So let's look up at our handy visual reference and display what it is you're supposed to do there. There's a lot of text going on, but anyway. So yeah, you pause. Almost as soon as you appear, you got to climb to the left to make the armor guy wiggle down here. And when he's like above the chasm or falling or off screen, that's when you pause again. You jump, and then you pause when you land again. And then you jump, you pause after getting hit. It's kind of around like when you're halfway up. I kind of use like when he's like this enemy's like this panda, as a Slackinator calls him. The official name is Charons or Chalons. Anyway. You pause when the other guy's like walking on the floor. As for the last pause, the thing is how long your other pauses, like screens where you have to pause 5 times are just the worst, because the more you pause, the more out of phase you're going to get with all your other visual cues, right? Like if you take a really long pause, well, you'll have to make your next pause a bit earlier. And if your pauses are like super clean, then, well, they got to be maybe later than you're used to, you know? So you have to learn this kind of like frame-sensitive timing. Okay, you don't have to, but I'm aware of it. But like 1 frame is actually a really small unit of time. It doesn't matter that much. This is stuff you just kind of get a feel for. But yeah, there's a couple visual cues. You could base it on which tile you're walking on, or which seam you're walking over between tiles. Base it on where you are under this ladder. What I've been doing lately is I look at the fireball this guy shoots down here. Although I probably should not be having my eyes dart over here and then way back in the top right at the timer. Anyway. Okay, so we have our next screen. I got 39 on the clock. That's pretty good. I've done 40 before, but 39, really good. Oh, right, I can't unpause, right? Because the timer's out of sync. Okay, so let's do that whole section again. Oh, weird, I hit 39 anyway. There we go. I was a bit early on that one. Okay, so that screen's actually pretty easy, but I psych myself out a lot. So again, check the guide image. Okay, so again, I pause when he's like centered on this block, or maybe a little further forward and about to fall off. Walk to the lowest block, then jump. You got a nice arc like that. Pause at the apex of your jump, so like right there. When you unpause, start flying 45 degrees up and left. Pause when Faxanadu's head is halfway to touching the ceiling here. And yeah, if you did it right, the grasshopper will jump to the right. You wait for him to fall. Magic is really precious in my route. So that's what you want to do. Oh yeah, look at that. I have 4190 gold, apparently. That's the right amount, because I'm about to get 150, get another 150 outside of town, so that puts me at 4490. You got to kill one more bee, which I do. Okay, so that's how you get enough money in my route. Oh yeah, and I seem to have another dot here that I didn't really write about. You usually have to make one more pause leaving that screen. Oops. Oh, that's bad. Missed the ladder rejump. Here you go. Wait, I'm coming in here with 39? Huh. Oh, I see. I've been trying to shift my pauses later to make them shorter on that screen. Okay, wait, we did have gameplay going there, right? Oh, no, we didn't. Haha. Let me do that again. Alright. That screen used to really bother me, but I think I have a pretty good setup for it now. The thing is, there's two different outcomes here. Okay, the funny thing is I narrowed this down. You want to nail... the next pause is on this block, not on this one. It's on this one. The second last one on the highest row. Okay, so again, you're climbing into the screen from below, so you got to pause early, usually when Faxanadu's head is lined up with this top row of blocks. Oh yeah, I don't re-jump on this screen, by the way. Because this is usually what happens. It's like sometimes... I mean, if you re-jump wrong, you end up like that. Why can't I move to the right? I swear I went out of bounds here once. That'd be sweet if you could, though. Yeah, because it's like, you re-jump, you don't get a good setup through here. Wait, do I have the visual thing up again? No, I don't. Okay. So yeah, like I said, when his head is lined up, do 2 attacks, pause, 2 attacks, pause. I screwed up, so let me start my narration over. Oh, that's the other thing that just happens sometimes. You gotta react to that. I'm getting a screen ahead of myself here. head on there. Still gonna make a late pause if you get the speedy double stab. Basically the strat is the same. If you get a double stab, you just have to shift everything forward about 2 blocks. If anything, I should figure out what causes it on purpose, okay? Oh, it really is when centered on that block. Oh, I was a bit early on that one. Oh, I see. It's just... So if I go flush against this... No, it doesn't always attack me. Oh. So if I'm, like, bad on the ladder, I get a double stab. Oh, I just figured something out. I figured out a little flam. So normally I'm holding up when I do the pauses, but I think I want to let go of up. And then when I press start the second time, I do like a little flam, like kada, like start up. Like I just want to introduce like a really small amount of delay while climbing up the ladder. Then I get a double hit. Interesting. But I have to remember to think about the timer. Alright, cool. Alright, so that's that's Master Shiner's handwritten instructions. Let's go back to what my memo says. The easy version. So yeah, you wanna... Oh, what the heck? Oh, some of my screenshots are different sizes. Weird. Okay. So you wanna pause early. So you gotta wait a bit before attacking. As in... Make one pause first. Pause, stab, stab, pause. Huh, I got the double hit without meaning to. That's funny. So pause. Okay, wait, you can't even see what I'm doing here anyway. You could watch the ceiling ghost for timing cues. You could. So yeah, pause. Yeah, so my one pause is when you get the like the sound of collecting the coin. Excuse me. Okay. Never mind, I guess the image is obsolete. Since we found this double stab technique. No. So you gotta be able to recover from when you're really out of phase too. Alright, I'm really good at this screen because I practiced my ass off at it. I'll show you what the slide looks like. Alright. So you pause when you're centered on the block, you jump immediately after unpausing, but over here at the end, you jump then pause. So it's a little weird. You have to remember these two different flam timings. And yeah, this will also, you need to get a damage boost through here. Reason being, if you don't, like, look how slow this is. Look at that, it's an extra wing boot second. Like, how would I get this? Oops, there you go. Alright, it's an extra pause, for sure. It's an extra wing boot second if you're not pausing, so try to... I really recommend, like, adjusting your route. Like, this guy does do a nice chunk of damage, look at that. Oh, wait, I forgot the thing is in the way. Oops. But yeah, that armor guy does a fair bit of damage, but look how fast you get through the screen. You could even... Whereas if you want to fly... So that's the other thing. Flying is awkward. Remember from my tutorial the rules of flying? Actually, let's go to this save state again, just to talk about that. So you can glide, like if you're just pressing A and left or right, you will gain walk speed at the same rate as if you were walking on the ground. But if you're ascending, you remain at initial speed. Even if you power glide downwards, you're still at initial, like, horizontal speed. So, flying through here is really bad. Oops. Yeah, I'm bad at it. Teaching myself to do things I don't usually do. Go for pauses I don't usually know. So yeah, this is pause. So yeah, like the diagram says, so you pause when you're centered on this block, and as soon as you come out of it, notice how I'm like going like start A, like doing a nice flam. And then, oh, I missed it. So I pause when this guy is halfway coming off this column. Like he's got 1 foot on the block. That's when the second pause is. And then you pause immediately after you jump off of this block that the guy was standing on. So kind of a convenient visual cue. That screen's annoying, but pretty easy. You just pause once on the way out. That guy's the same way. I'm really bad at pausing in this section because it's kind of freeform. So again, I do a ladder rejump because this gives me the ideal timing to do the exact same 2-hit setup that I had on the other armor guy. Actually, now that we know some stuff about ladders, I'm going to overwrite state 3. We're going to do an experiment. Right. So if you take longer coming off this ladder, okay, a lot longer. Okay, I'm just learning like how high I can climb. Okay, what I'm going for is... well, is this even faster? Like, I'm waiting to do like a second wing boot pause to make the guy come down low enough. I don't know, let's see what it leads to. See what it leads to with the bees. Nope. I don't get damage boosted forward the way I'm used to. 2 hits, pause, 2 hits, pause, pause when you jump. Oh, look at that Skyway robbery. I just lost 4 seconds in a span of like 4 blocks. 2 hits, 2 hits. It's funny, I've talked about that in my tutorial, right? Of like, how do you not get stuck in there? It's so easy, right? You just hold down and right. Doesn't seem to work with wing boots. If you power glide down. Well, if you use the ladder, it doesn't work either. Somehow you can get stuck in the floor. So you gotta watch out for that, I guess. Trying to set this up so I get the damage boost as well. Gotta fly a little higher. How does this go? I have a highlight of this screen where I, like, nailed every pause. I wanted to go study it. I guess I need to go study it, hey? There we go. Ooh! Oh, that was a good one. Alright, we can study that. Finicky thing. That screen's a little bit freeform. Alright, so I'm gonna load state 5 here, because I made the first half of those from practicing pendant percent, apparently. Oops. Alright, nobody saw that. So yeah, as you can see from the timer, like from Memory Watch, showing the global timer, I keep letting go of A early. Hold on, I want to check what's next in my slides. Yeah, this is all I have for what to do outside of Victim. Not very impressive. So yeah, pause, stab twice, pause when it explodes, jump up, pause when you get the coin. And you gotta pause somewhere near the top of the stairs, around here, pause on the ladder, maybe pause before you get into town. Still working on that one, but like I said, 70% success rate. This is one of the screens I have chosen not to excel on, I guess. What's next in the slides? Oh, all the way over here. Okay, so we'll put these away for a bit, because I feel like it should be obvious. Here you just kind of have to watch the timer like a hawk and guesstimate a little bit. Ooh, and that's where you have to get your run killed. Alright, so I guess I'll show the two ways here. You climb ladders faster when you have wing boots going, but you cannot climb off and hit the squid unless you ladder re-jump up. So if you want to learn ladder re-jumps for A screen, this is the screen. But you've got to get 2 quick ones in a row, or it won't work. Ta-da! Also, make sure you leave by the right block in the ceiling there, because if you don't, you end up over here, and the game won't let you proceed forward without going back down. That's really bad. So again, make sure you're ascending right here. Also, check it out. You can stand here. You're standing on the ceiling. You're standing on that block. Okay, so 2 quick re-jumps. Not really getting any pauses there, but where would you pause otherwise? I guess that's part of the tutorial, hey? Let's make Ultimate Flight Plan accessible to those who cannot or will not do ladder resets. Something like that. Oh, those are bad. Okay, let's refine those a bit. Oh, it was early! I also just need to refine where to pause for my own sake. See, ladder resets are like frame sensitive, right? Like, you can be better at that on an order of frames rather than an order of seconds, so it's hard to find consistent places to pause. Oh, look at that. Pausing dragged the timer so far forward, I lost another wing boot second, so like I said, any screen where I'm ladder re-jumping, I'm really not too keen to be doing any wing boot pausing. Especially because other reason is that my eyeballs are all the way in this region of the screen, right? I can't be looking over here. I need to like really pay attention to the ladder, pay attention to the squid, walk into the right block, go straight up. Like my eyes like never even cross the vertical middle of the screen. I don't want to look over at the timer, make sure I'm doing it right. So again, maybe not a high priority. You're not on that screen for very long either. Like, you don't need 100% success rate, you just need 70. Okay, got through that screen. Let's try it one more time, then we'll refer to the guide. So again, pause early, pause when you land, pause when the fireball's going over your head. Alright, So again, the visual guide. The image is dragged a little bit higher up here because I notice how this block is not in that screen. This is the ceiling from the previous screen. So yeah, fly up and right a short time, then pause. Again, it's about the same amount of time as the vertical screen transition. So yeah, I want to fall down on there. Neutral jump, stab the banana squid. You know, like right here, push them back to the right. Pause when you land. Jump to the right. I usually hold A so I can hover in case I missed it. Run to the edge of the screen. Pause. Yeah, you can use the fireball here or when the back of his head is passing the threshold of this block. Next screen is really easy. I'll just show you the... It'll be easier to understand, actually, with... holy moly. Why is this one so tall? Oh, I included the border of FCEU for some reason. So this shows which blocks you want to... so you want to pause when you're going over the crack between these red blocks. Pause on the center of this middle gray block. Then pause either centered on this red block. I actually find better luck doing the crack between these red blocks. So this is probably the single easiest screen of Ultimate Flight Plan. So I actually have a save state for it. Boom. Alright, this one I'm probably gonna stick around at for a while. Okay, getting a bit ahead of myself there. Nice how not shooting a deluge actually looks slower, but definitely doesn't hurt the wing boost timer. Okay, one more time. And I'll explain everything that goes on. This is another one I had to practice my ass off on. Dropped one, dropped another one, dropped 4! Wow, look at that. That was like a frame-perfect tick down. Okay, let's try it again, so I can get that deluge shot this time. Pause not quite at the right time there. Also, there's something I've seen Whoop doing in their runs. They go something like that. I don't know if that's faster. Going by the music, it's not faster. Listen to the triangle wave. Whereas leaving this way, you're out of the screen. You're off the screen before the bass line starts going. You miss the. You're off screen before it starts the second little grouping, like. So that's how I know going this way is faster. Well, okay, without even bringing pausing into it. Yeah, it's a bit slower to go that way, because you build up walk speed more going this way. You can also glide. That actually seems very slightly faster and intrigues me. Something I did try out earlier today. Uh-oh. But you can screw it up! Also, I want to be looking at the timer, not what I'm doing with gliding. Anyway, so I owe you guys the extremely complicated diagram. The 13th screen, as I called it. Alright, let's make this bigger so the text is more readable. Okay, so look how all over the place this is. So 1, the picture starts over here. Pauses when this grasshopper is at the peak of its jump. before it's above you. Oh, I've been pausing when it's directly over my head, actually. Turn around, move closer to it a little bit so you can double stab it and kill it. I even drew the little like death explosion lines for where it's supposed to go. Pause just before the white explosion appears. I've been pausing right when it appears, actually. So this just goes to show like how wide these windows can be. Okay, so 3. This is not really... I'm not a comic book artist, alright? I'm putting the panels in the order where you are on the screen, where you're going to see them. So 3. Pause when the other grasshopper is moving to the right and is partway between the first and second blocks. You will be near here. Yeah, referring to this circle right here. So again, you neutral jump straight up, then start flying up 45 degrees. Pause near the ceiling just before you attack. Typically with the long range step plus deluge, you probably need another deluge. Grasshopper doesn't behave unpredictably at all. I'm just scrubby, you know, not quite in the right spacing. There's got to be a spacing that exists where you can just get a nice double stab. Yeah, that was okay. That time I fired 2 deluges. You didn't even get to see it because I left the image up. Okay. Then 6. Wing Boots dialogue will delay the timer an unpredictable amount. That's also not true. That's also, you know, it's a certain number of frames, and then the thing is, like, I can't get a feel for where the Wing Boot timer is if I'm not in, like, actionable gameplay, you know? Maybe the Wing Boot's dialogue box is a certain amount of time, and then you might clear the text box frame perfectly, or you might wait 10 frames or something. Who knows? So basically you just kind of... This is one of those things that you just sort of guess your 64 frame feel on the way out. You probably will lose a second here. Again, it's fine. You don't need 100% success rate on all these pauses, just about 70%. Okay. So let's put the guide image away and do this. Do this in real time a couple times. Oh, I actually did pause late there. Thinking it's pausing over my head. No, it is before crossing that border. I'll pause a little early. Alright, preserved 1 second there, that's okay. Yeah, my logic is that any screen where you only have to pause 3 times is not that bad. It's the ones where you gotta pause more than 3 times where they get really gnarly. So if you want to do, like, you know, a partial Wing Boot extension here, would not recommend this screen, but just, like, you know, the more relaxed screens where you're just kind of moseying through them, avoiding enemies, those are the ones you want to learn to pause in. Like this one. Pause at the peak of your jump, pause at the peak of your jump, pause about there. This one is only 3 pauses if you ladder re-jump, and that one took some learning. Okay, so let's move on to the next 2 screens here. Okay, so let's look at an approach for that screen that doesn't have a ladder re-jump in it, first of all. Or rather, not that kind. Never mind. I can't not ladder re-jump, that's really funny. Okay, let's say you climb all the way into this screen. Actually, hang on, you can... Okay, you can't clear it going straight up. But here's what you can do. Oh, I almost had it. You don't want to, yeah, that's why I'm making a tutorial, Red Rocket. It's pretty hard, but you can sneak in 1 attack there. Honestly, what I find easier... You could just go like this, you know. Well, there's a lot of anxiety to leave a screen when you have a Wing Boot timer going, though. But honestly, like, just do ladder... Here's the other thing, like, ladder rejumps are really easy when it's broken up by one screen, because when I press A, look, I'm walking! I'm in, like, a neutral state. Oh, pressing up made me climb a bit higher, that's funny. So yeah, do one ladder rejump. It's easy to do another one in the next screen. You gotta really be on point, though. But also, you gotta try to keep the wing boot timer going. So I don't think I have a visual guideline for this screen yet, even though I feel like really comfortable doing it. You gotta do one ladder rejump and pause. But it's fine. Like, you only need to do one on that screen, so it's just while you're holding up an A. Ah, okay. Enemy sometimes does blow up like a boss does with coins, too. That one time you did it, he didn't. Huh? Well, most enemies in this game either leave coins or food. Some give neither. This debate came up, actually, because, Slackinator calls it delicious meat, and I looked at the manual to see, like, wait, is it meat or is it bread? You get dried meat in town to get more magic. Okay, we're a bit behind on my visual guideposts here. Let's bring up the next one. Okay. This one is pretty easy. Honestly, the red box in question, it's actually higher than I think it is, especially if your pauses are really clean. If you take like really long pauses for security, then this box will be lower, right? Because it means the global timer has ticked forward that much more while you're not pushing Faxanadu forward in the real world in real time. So anyway, as my notes here say, so you jump and then pause at the peak of your jump, like right before gravity sends you back down. Second pause is either, I just do it at the apex of my jump here, but it just so happens when Luigi jumps left and down into this area. Yeah, so there's two different explanations. Pause when this guy falls to right here, or at the peak of your next jump, and then you just kind of fly straight up-ish towards the ladder. So let's put away the guideline and test this out a little bit. Pause at the peak of your jump, pause when Luigi lands, pause... Oh, I was a bit late. Ooh. Just want to look at alternatives here for people who just really have a huge bias against ladder rejumps for whatever reason. What options do they have? You want to be careful about Deluge, too, because... Here, I'll just demonstrate here. If you're touching the ladder and you press up B, look at that, you climb the ladder instead. So you gotta be careful. Honestly, all the risk you take, if you really want to preserve your wing boot seconds, you know, just... Like, you don't even have to do, like, the double, like, you know, ladder reset, pause for wing boot time, go straight up. Like, you can just do the one... Actually, even better. Tell you what, you can do this without even doing the first ladder rejump. As long as you don't climb the ladder. Because if you climb on the ladder, you're going to still be on the ladder in the next screen. So you have to enter the screen in, like, a wing boot stance. There you go. Alright. What's funny is my visual guide for the next screen is pretty unreliable. Oh right, I wanted to check Luigi as a visual cue. Make sure that's legit. So pause at the peak of your jump, pause at the peak of your jump. Oh, it was a bit early. Then missed the next pause, that's funny. Oh, it's wasted frames there. I'm not even looking at Luigi, I'm actually just looking peak of my jump. but it does so happen that that's when Luigi's down there. So you have two different visual cues, pick the one you like. I recommend looking at Faxanadu. You want to look at Faxanadu anyway, and if you're looking at Luigi, in this part of the screen, the furthest possible place away from your wing boot timer, like looking over here, no, like your eyes will have much better tracking just going from here to here. Like from here to here. Okay, so visual guide I made for the next screen is rather incomplete. This is probably just obsolete. Okay, so you gotta pause right away because it's a vertical screen transition. Fly or climb onto the red block. No, you don't even have to. The important thing is that you get the ladder reset or that you're in a neutral state on this screen. You have to be able to jump. Don't climb the ladder or you're going to be too slow and get hit by banana squid. If you're concerned about, oh, I need the health from this banana squid anyway, well, that's a different mentality already and you might be watching the wrong video. Not saying it's wrong, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to do the optimal thing or like you have nowhere left to improve your route, you want to incorporate 98 wing boot seconds and you gotta like nail 70% of the pauses, well, here you are. Okay, so neutral jump, fly straight up. If you had to climb the whole way, you have to fly slightly right. Really? I feel like that there is a way to do it, but anyway. I think you'll have to like jump to the right as well to avoid banana squid. Here, let's put the guide away. Now I'm curious about notes from my past self. Oh yeah, I couldn't even get away that way. Alright, back to looking at the visual guide here. Once you hit the ceiling and face left, pause. Pause again just after you start moving. You can watch Luigi for clues, because, yeah, this jumping guy, this blue guy here, I really feel like is on, like, the 64 frame rhythm. Like, when I watch enemies in Faxanadu while I'm also trying to pause with wing boots, I feel like I'm aware of the pulse or, like, the respiration rate of the game. It's kind of weird. I have been playing for years, though, don't mind me. That doesn't really help if I'm trying to teach someone. Yeah, the last pause is somewhere in this region. It's usually on the front block here. So yeah, again, this image for that, not very helpful. So let's get back to learning. Oh, I missed two of those pauses. We gotta do it again. 1/3, not good enough success rate. You'll notice I try to keep my pauses really short, too. I'm trying to really keep those real-time frames a-rolling. There we go. Okay, this screen, I'm really not a fan of this screen. It's harder than it looks. See? Because it seems like you want to pause when you're centered on this block, but that's actually a little bit early. You have to pause when you're, like, here. So it means you have to, like, unpause and then jump, like, immediately after. It has to be, like, a really tight flam timing. But if you nail it, the other ones are really easy. They're centered on this block, and centered on this block. So again, if you're trying to keep wing boots going into this castle, that's a pretty easy screen to incorporate. Definitely worth including. And the visual guide says the same thing. First pause is the hardest. If you have trouble, you can open your king key right here. No, don't do that. Never do that at like the start of a screen, because how long you take to equip the king key is gonna... Who knows where the timer's gonna end up after that. Yeah, if you get the other two, just pause when you're centered on these blocks. Next one, jump when you're centered on this block, and then I open the menu to equip the king key right before I go in, because then I don't have to... You have to do it somewhere. And that's a pretty good place to do it. Actually, now that I think about it, let's test the screen out. Do you have to pause again? Oops, just want to get the cursor out of the way. No you don't. No you don't. Interesting. So, now we need to go back. Look at the whole tutorial again. Find the one spot where I'm always complaining, like, oh, I always get my pause timing wrong here. Should equip my... Well, you can't equip the king key outside of victim. Okay, never mind. It's got to be somewhere from between here. Here, why don't I equip it right here? Except now I'm not clawing the controller. Wait, that's probably it. That's probably the perfect place. Aw. Not quite. Right. Don't press up B to kill that guy. Oh, I was a little late. That's hurt. That hurts. That hurts a lot. Still drop the winged second. It's better than dropping 2, I guess. Actually, wait. Do I drop 2, usually? If I don't open the menu there? Oops. Well, I definitely did there, because I flubbed my ladder resets. Oh, I was early. It's funny because I feel like it takes me about 64 frames to equip the king key to begin with. Ah. Where's the screen I struggle with for timing? See, look at that. Actually, could we not time this? Just gonna bring memory watch all the way over here. Oh, but then I need it to stay on top. Or I could just enable background input. Okay. Yeah, look, it does take me about 64 frames to equip a king key. That's so funny. Can I equip it any faster? There's lag! It has to, like, draw the menus. I physically can't do it much faster. Well, it looks like the menu will accept some buffer. Oh, what am I doing? I'm sorry, I had the guide up the whole time. Oh, that sucks. Wait, the timer doesn't reset leaving town, right? Not just when entering, but when leaving as well? Yeah, it keeps counting up. Okay. So... I don't want to get too specific with my save states either. Like, this particular offset is like really specific to these save states. Okay, so in general, don't want to equip there. Okay, you really want to equip it. Oh, maybe not there after all. Probably when leaving this screen. Oops, need to claw the controller. Ugh. Just need the confidence to find my select button first. Oh, it was early then late. That hurts. Because it turns out you only need to pause once. Okay, so where to pause in here? So yeah, like I said, my notes are a bit erroneous. You don't even need to open the menu here. Like, honestly, it should be opened either outside of town after doing my ladder resets or after picking up the wing boots. Just because that seems to... What am I saying here? Okay, instead of pausing the game and just losing 20, 25, 30 frames, like however long you pause the game, instead of losing that many frames of real time, you have to open the menu anyway to equip the king key. So use that as your wing boot pause, right? Like, just overlap where you need the stoppage of gameplay to occur. Anyway, next one. I just have a great big blah blah blah. Doesn't help. I claim something about blah blah something something. Well, let's look at 01A, see what it actually says. Does it keep counting up? Oh, it does! Huh. There you go. Okay, so there isn't anything reliable for that screen. This is another thing that makes Ultimate Flight Plan harder, is there are some screens where you just actually don't have setups. You kind of have to watch the guys to get a feel for it. Yeah, these guys in particular, I feel like they have a really certain rhythm. Let me load this state one more time here. I feel like it's every time they jump. You know? Well, okay, the big one doesn't count, but like the two small jumps are about 64 frames apart, and then you're not even on the screen long enough for them to like do a fourth jump anyway, so... I don't know, I like to watch the Markman enemies. That's what they're called. Just kind of use that as an offset. So this screen, much easier than it looks. I'll just bring up what the guide says. Actually, what does this say? Because you came from a door transition, doesn't introduce a random amount of lag frames. It's just the game, the global timer doesn't dial to 0 the way it does for ordinary screen transitions. Yeah, you got to stop on the... You can attack around the center of this arch, but I find there's actually a lot of other spacings that work. Like, kind of halfway on the second arch also works. Like, honestly, there's more attack spots that work than don't. You just need to be more forward than the center of this. If you attack from too far back, you definitely get hit. So yeah, basically just make your one attack. If you get hit, well, it sucks because you get hit a second time. These guys don't do that much damage, though. It's not that bad. Well, it is for me because, you know, I'm riding my health really low. But for everyone else, don't worry about it. Yeah, you can walk through. Setup has room for error. Walking too far. No, it's the other way around. Yeah, fight them by staying on the ground. Okay, so yeah, right here, you jump when you're like you're halfway between these columns. Like, see where the red lines are? like you know, if you were here, you would be covering up this curtain or this archway. So you want to jump at like the quarter point between the second and third arch. So like, you know, aligned with this seam here in the background. You want to jump. This is like the most far forward you can be. If you jump further forward than this, you'll get hit. If you jump further back, you'll be fine. So yeah, basically between the third and fourth arches. Pause right before you land. Oh, pause at the midpoint between the last two arches. I've been looking at this guy. Like when this guy is jumping, like double jumping in the air around this square. That's when I make my third pause. But yeah, between the that's a good visual cue to have. Let's try it out. Honestly, like between the arches is way more objective. Let's go a little far forward. See, we're fine. Pause on the quarter, pause before you land, pause between second and third. Oh, there you go. Okay, that works. Okay, this one I also had to practice my ass off for, because it has 5 pauses. Missed one of them. Ugh. Don't like the Wyvern screen either. Okay, so let me do this one more time. Okay, so I'll bring up the visual image for this one. 4, 5. Okay, so the first pause is between the second and third arches, so similar to the previous screen, a little farther forward though. So you walk to the left edge of the third arch, and then you jump, or you just jump in such a way that the pinecone turns around and damage boosts you forward. Walk to the center of the 6th arch, and then attack twice to kill both pine cones. Pause when the explosion appears. So again, similar to when you kill the 2 grasshoppers. Pause between the 7th and 8th arches and start flying. You'll grab. Okay, pause on the grabbed coin. Excuse me. Finishes playing. Do a ladder reset. Oh, I can do 2 ladder resets. Although this image describes if you just do 1 ladder reset and then climb, that makes it consistent. When Faxanadu's legs are in the last block at the top of the ladder. Huh. This isn't even how I, like, remember it. Oh, well, it worked. Never mind. I guess that is just the best way to do it. Alright. I don't like the Wyvern screen, though, because the Wyvern seems... How do I explain this? From the previous routes I was doing where I would fight the Wyvern upstairs without wing boots. Oops. Okay, so check it out. There's a fake fireball. Let me watch this one fight for a little bit. Okay, light fireball. Go upstairs for a bit. Fake fireball. Go downstairs, fake fireball. Fired another one. Recent fireball. Do you get what I'm trying to say here? Like, these guys are on their own timer. Like, what they do depends on how long you've watched the other one. So, how good I do my ladder reset seems to affect how the Wyvern behaves. Like, I don't have anything consistent for the Wyvern screen yet, unfortunately. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe another year from now I will, and this will be yet another somewhat embarrassing tutorial. So you gotta pause. Yeah, the other thing, the Wyverns seem to add more lag when the game is loading the next screen. I have to pause sooner than usual. Or I think the number of enemies on a screen can affect the lag, like when loading it. So even though I entered from left to right, I have to pause like immediately. Yeah, let's look at the timer or memory watch. Yeah, let me have it like right there. Whatever. Oh, can't see what I'm doing. Okay, just wait. goes to 0, timer goes to 0. Hey. You can, I swear I can barely see this. Okay. When I go into this screen, the timer seems to say 90. But when I go into this screen, it seems to start at 100. It actually takes like 10 frames longer to load the Wyvern screen, it seems like. Crazy. Anyway. Yeah, I don't like the next screen either. Because, like, look at this. I'm barely on this screen, and yet I have to wing boot pause. I also don't like the next screen. Again, have to do a ladder reset while pausing somewhere in there. And if you don't ladder reset, well, look what might happen. If you want to just, like, climb into this screen, you might get sniped. Like, I got lucky there. I got the fake fireball. Oops. Because I have wing boots going and you climb ladders faster with wing boots, I can get up there in time. Whereas if I ladder rejump, I always get up there in time. I'm trying to set this up so that I get hit by a fireball while I'm climbing on the ladder, but it's probably not going to happen. Fake fireball. And because I don't have consistent stuff for the Wyvern, I usually fly way too high above him, which, again, wastes a lot of time. You don't... Remember how I said you don't want to, like, ascend? You don't want to fly. You want to glide. You don't have to go that high over him. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's a good setup. Okay. So let's try the Wyvern one more time. Oops. Yeah, you don't want to go too low, though. I'll show, like, some bad things that can happen. Actually, that's the ideal, hey? You want to slip in behind the last fireball that shoots to the right. Oh, pause too early. That didn't match what the diagram said either. So yeah, bled a lot of seconds there. Those screens still need work, but these two are easy. I'll just bring up what the images say again. Not much to say about this screen. You still have to pause at least once early on. You should jump into this screen as soon as you get onto it, or from the previous screen. So you come out at the highest possible height is what it should say. Your priority is to get to the right, pause there, then ladder rejump. Oh yeah, if you don't move all the way to the right, you fail the rejump. Yeah, this is a blank image, haven't figured it out yet. So yeah, this one's pretty easy. You pause when you're like on the left edge of this like Nazca line style mural, or at the peak of your jump, and then you pause in the middle tile of this third platform. Oh yeah, and remember to hold A during the screen transition so you start gliding in the next screen. Oh, I didn't make an image of that one. But yeah, you pause. I'll just fly back in. Oh, but with walk speed. Okay, fine. We'll just do it again so I can explain it. Do it properly. Ta-da! Right, the next pause is always like later than I think it is. Yeah, you pause like right away. Pretty much like right around there. Like shortly after you appear in the screen. Ree, thanks for subbing yet again for 11 months. I can't believe it. Alright, so then we're finally on this screen. What's funny is apparently I have 12 in this timeline. Okay, so these last 3 screens are probably some of the worst ones. Like the ones I'm worst at in Ultimate Flight Plan, I mean. Ugh, okay. So you get on the ladder and you pause. Right, it's on F10, so it opens the menu. So yeah, you pause when you're like centered on this ladder, pretty much. And who knows where the other ones are. You pause when you're airborne, then you gotta pause twice on the way out. So right here, you gotta lock in some sort of attack on Pinecone. Ideally a double stab that gets rid of him immediately. If you're too far away, well, you pause the game so you can see that. You have a little bit longer to react and make sure you did it right. Oops. I like to watch the Pinecone at the bottom, by the way. Like how quickly it turns around seems to give me some insight to the timer, I feel like. Alright, so... Oh, too far away. I had time to react, though. I don't really have anything specific for this screen, either. I'll talk about it a little bit, though. Oops. Actually, let's bring up the visual guide, see what I came up with for this screen. So apparently my pause points are here and here. I've been, like, justified a little further to the right before. So yeah, pause when you're climbed half up the ladder. Really? I pause, like, when I'm centered on the ladder. There you go. That just shows how flexible that is. Yeah, pause at the peak of your jump. Pause when you're centered on these murals. If your pauses are tight and short, you can shift them half a right. Yeah, there you go. Shift them by half a tile to the right. Yeah, that's usually what I do, because I am going for really tight pauses. So, again. Wait, I was early on that one? I was late on that one. On the seam, centered on that one. Okay. So there we go. The image is actually wrong. We want to put these right there on the crack, like the seam between these two murals. So the third pause is right there. The fourth one is centered on this rectangle here. So that's where they should actually go. So pause, 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 pause. Done. I somehow pressed A. I did not mean to press A there. Whoa, what happened there? I went from 12 to 10. Wait, I paused early. I'll pause late there. Oh yeah, always hold A when you're jumping across this gap so you can fly back up and recover. Oh, it's late. Okay. Okay, so on this screen, here's the thing. I'm just gonna, like, hang around here for a bit. Oh, I'm almost out of wing boot time, though. Okay, so you start from about here, right? If you just walk down, this guy will stab you and kill you. Actually, let me go again and I'll prove it. Oh, it's a bit late. I just died. There you go. This is why my streams are such a thrill ride. You never know if I'm just gonna make a dumb mistake and lose a run. Okay. Alright, so what do we do then? We gotta jump down? Nope, that also kills you. Because these sword enemies freak out and sprint after you if you jump. That's just part of their AI. So, we have to fly down there. But even that is not quite as simple as it sounds. That's the optimal way to do it. You want to like fall a little bit, then glide. You let me just come back into the screen. Or here's what you can do. I'll have to reload the save. I was late. You can hold A for gliding. But look at that, you fall slowly a little bit. Okay, so we power glide down a little bit. No, that's also not quite optimal. Oh, you gotta make sure you're holding A before you leave the screen or else you jump. Ooh, it's late on both. Okay. Power glide down? Nope, you lose walk speed. So again, it's finicky. That's why I don't have anything specific for that screen either. Because it's all going to depend on how your re-glide goes. It's actually really forgiving though. Like, it's hard to screw up. Alright, so the last screen, there's 3 pauses I make before the fight even starts. So, listen to the boss music. It goes like a... Doesn't matter. The important thing is the first pause is on the 4th note, the 4th 16th note of this. 1E and it's on the A note, that the low E. There we go. The one where I add the extra E. That's the note where you want to pause. Then I shoot a deluge at him, and I pause when the deluge connects, and it makes the gee sound. So I'm just going to show how this fight goes. Why do I shoot one deluge going in? Well, this is why. Because if you don't, he goes... Oh, he's supposed to go into the notch. Okay, let's demonstrate that again. Oh, I was late. Oh, maybe the reglide is not that convenient. Not that forgiving. There we go. Yeah, dude. And you pause when he jumps over you. I was late on both of them. Oh, he still went into the notch! What caused that? That's embarrassing. That's so funny. I like do it wrong the first time, fight goes the way it's supposed to, do it right, and it goes wrong. Okay, didn't go into the notch. As you can see, I go in with barely any magic, and it's fine. And then you just fly back out, get the nice quick death warp. So that's why Ultimate Flight Plan is so good, is because you save about 10 seconds of not having to go around the top for the death warp. Okay, so let me just review this. And I think we'll have it all covered. Now, okay, I don't really like holding A for that. Oh, this is early. Can you not? That could easily cost me a run if I don't have enough wing boot time. Yikes. Told you I was the worst at these screens. Like the actual fight. Too late. It's better to attack early and realize you've only done a single stab. Because then you have time to react. And like, look how forgiving it is to just make another attack. Early, on time. Oh. Alright. And again, just a reminder of what you have to go through if your wing boot time runs out. And I think that can conclude the Ultimate Flight Plan tutorial, and just prove that I'm still pretty bad at it. But I guess that goes to show how hard it is. But that's how you do it. Actually, wait, I did say I was going to take a run through it the whole thing. One stipulation, though, is State 5. Like, notice how I don't have enough money. I don't have the 4,500 I need. So State 5 is where I'm going to resume to, like, skip the shopping and dial the timer back to 30. We'll just have to remember the differential. Okay, get the rejump. Guy falls. Land. Halfway up. Crossing the fireball/ladder. I was late. Centered on the block. Peek of your jump. right before you get into the notch. I was early. Lined up there. Pause. Stab, stab. I did a double stab, so that's okay. Pause one more time. Pause at the center. Pause when the guy's falling off. Jump, then pause. Pause about there. 2 attacks, pause. 2 attacks, pause. I'm off timing on all these. I need that coin. Ooh. Okay, 29 is not the worst. Take a nice long pause, because again, timer in town is really weird. Okay, do all the shopping. Okay, so I've got -4 seconds. Timer actually says 25, 24, 23. You get the picture. Timer says 17. Ooh, lost a second anyway. Oh, I was late because I took a deeper breath, deeper pause there. Is that too far back? Guess not. Good. Should pause before you land, pause between the last 2 arches. Pause between the arches. Pause. Pause for explosion. Pause after coin sound. Pause after ladder rejump. Pause before going. Pause quick. Pause later than you think. See, I paused it early. I missed it. And took a big flight. That's kind of ugly, but again, bad at that screen. Pause on the ladder. Pause at peak of your jump. Pause between there. Pause. Take a deeper one there. And that was only a single hit. Oh, look, I have 12. That's tons of time. Actually, I have 8. Boss has 117 HP, so it's basically 5 double stabs and you kill him. The rest, magic does the rest. And there we go. That's a successful ultimate flight plan with 2 left on the clock. So even though I guess I'm kind of bad at the whole thing, but that's the extent of my knowledge on Ultimate Flight Plan. As you can see, there are some screens that I really have not refined, and I can still make it, so maybe you could help out and figure out the tougher screens. So that's going to wrap up this tutorial, and now we're going to get straight into the next one.